All right.
All right, I'm ready.
Yeah.
How would you feel if your favorite sports team, won a Super Bowl for the first time in its franchise history? The Philadelphia Eagles, won the 2017 Super Bowl world champions. And my object here is I want to introduce you to the Super Bowl champions of the Eagles of 2017. It's a computer pad. Um, what was that? Oh yeah, so this the reason why I'm demonstrating this is because it's very special, not just for me, but for my family who are big diehard Eagle fans. And it's a memory that will last for the rest of my life. And yeah. Um, so I'm so nervous. Um, so let's get into it. This is really important to my family because ever since we moved to the United States, we've been always wanting to pick a football team that we really enjoy and like. So we chose the Philadelphia Eagles as the underdog. Um, um, and when 2017 hit, thought the season was over after our main quarterback got injured, but there was hope for us that we can still win the Super Bowl, and we did. Which leads to my other point, which is hope doesn't bring it is that hope always exists, and every setback leads you to more hope in life. And the reason also to my next point as I transition is this is also a memory that will last forever in my life because I've always wanted to keep this as a gift, um, as a sorry, um, as a gift for myself and for my family. If I my future family might have kids, and not to let them know that this has been a gift that I've always um, will keep in my heart and physically here. So, and my conclusion and to in summary, the Eagles Super Bowl pad is very special to me because it's a memory that will last forever, and that is very special to my family and I since we moved to the United States. Waiting for a Super Bowl ring. So yeah, thank you guys. Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous because I have a lot of things in my mind today. I'm sorry. I finished. Oh, Professor, I don't know if I can hear you.
How long have you been in the U.S.?
So I lived in the U.S. for what year is it? 20 years now, actually.
Okay,
Yeah,
20
it's
years.
been too long living here. So
Too long. You want to go back to Australia?
I'm actually not from Australia.
Oh,
I actually was born in England, but I lived in Ireland as well. And I came here because my dad got a job here. So,
okay. I thought you told us you lived in
oh
Australia.
no, Australia. I've been to Australia before. Like I have
Okay,
family there, but yeah,
but you're from the UK.
yeah. Technically, yeah. I mean, Northern Ireland is part of UK, so I would say so. Yeah,
What country?
Northern Ireland.
Ireland. Okay.
Yeah,
You did say that. That's amazing.
yeah,
Okay, Ireland.
yeah.
I had a friend that visited there.
Oh, really?
He loved it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you, Dara.
you're welcome.
Who's next?
I'll go next. May I begin?
1 second, Jack. Let me get your time. Okay, we're ready.
All right, so this little device might seem simple, but without it, most of us would be lost in navigating the computer. And today I'm going to inform you about how the computer mouse works, its history, and how it shaped how we interact with every form of technology. But first, we'll take a quick look at its origin and how it functions, and why it's still relevant today. So it was invented in 1964 by Douglas Engelbart, and it was originally made of wood and consisted of two wheels and one button. And the term mouse came from its tail-like cord that went out the end of the mouse. But this mouse is different from the original. It's an LED mouse, an optical one, meaning it uses a sensor to detect movement. It tracks the changes in positions when the light impacts whatever surface you're gliding the mouse across and sends the data to the computer to move the cursor. And the buttons on the mouse send commands like clicks or selections and what. And so why it matters. It revolutionized user interaction and it replaced typed commands with more simple and intuitive point and click commands. And it's still preferred in precision tasks like design, editing, gaming, and many others. Despite trackpads and touchscreens, it still remains as an essential part of the workplace. And that's it.
Okay. All right. One thing, refrain from saying that's it. We never want to say that's it. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Just leave it as it is. Whatever your closing is, leave that. I mean, you can say thank you if you really feel like you have to, but the best thing to do is just give your closing remark. Okay, Jack. Thank you. All right, who's next?
Can I go?
Okay, yes. Just Jack, one other comment I wanted to make. Try looking at camera a little bit more, okay? All right. Good job explaining your object. Okay, one thing I want to say too, that was a good thing. Jack gave us some information that many of us maybe didn't know. And in your informative speech, you want to make certain that you try to give some information that maybe people might not know. I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't know that the mouse was first originally in its original form was wood, right? I don't know how many people might have known that. So you want to give new information when you are delivering a informative speech. Okay, Drita, you are, yeah, muted.
Take a moment and think back when you were little. Maybe you were sitting at a kitchen table or on the floor of your classroom with a coloring book, and in your hand was one of these, a crayon box. This box doesn't just hold color, it holds imagination, memories, and maybe even a little chaos. It was one of the first tools we were trusted with. We didn't know how to draw or paint, we just needed to feel to put something on paper. Crayons brought out the artist in all of us. They didn't care if your lines were crooked or if the sky was green. They encouraged creativity in its rawest form. Remember peeling the crayon to get more crayon space or breaking them by pressing too hard and then still using that same broken piece? We made it work, and that was art. And then there was that one color, the perfect pink, the prettiest blue, and the best green. Everyone wanted it, and somehow it was always missing or used down to its tiniest nub. When your favorite one broke in half, and that was serious heartbreak. But crayons aren't just for kids. Today, people of all ages use them to unwind. Adult coloring books are popular in therapy, stress relief, and even classrooms. Why? Because there's something peaceful about coloring. It slows you down, it makes you feel calm, and sometimes we need that simplest feeling again. So, no, this isn't just a crayon box, it's a box of firsts, first drawing, first dreams, and first messy mistakes. Somehow, it just still feels messy magical. Crayons teach us it's okay to be messy, to be bold, or to make something totally our own, even if it doesn't stay in the lines.
Okay, now, uh, Drixie, you gotta keep that object up there longer than a second, right? Because remember, the whole thing is describing your object, right?
Yeah.
So you can't just say, this is the object, and then keep coming, right? That's a visual, you're explaining it. We saw how Jack had it up, he kept showing it to us, he had it up there. Okay, make certain that's what you do with when you're describing your visual. Okay. It was a little short too. It was only 1 minute. So remember, less than, no less than two, no more than three. The eye contact, you gotta work on that because you basically read the whole speech and you started really speeding up. That's what probably why you finished so quickly. You were reading and then you really started speeding it up. So just watch your rate, right? Watch your rate. Try to speak in a vocal variety. Slow it down sometime. Okay. We don't want you to read everything, right? And reading forces some of these other things where you're really not being connected with the audience. And it'll have you speeding up and not looking at the audience if you're reading. So be mindful of the reading. Other than that, the content was very good. Very good. Okay, thank you, Driti. Who's next?
I could try to go.
Okay,
Can I go after her?
sure.
Okay.
I just need a minute. Can I start now?
Yes.
Okay.
Make sure there are no faces in the camera.
Yeah, I'll try it.
Okay.
Is this good enough?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. Okay. Hello, everyone. Today, I want to share something simple but powerful. It's called the emotion jar. This isn't just any jar. It's a tool for emotional support. This jar is something that I created myself. I mean, it's popular and everybody you can find it on Amazon, but I did my own special one last year, which helped me go through so many like emotional stages of my life. So this jar is it's a tiny jar, but it has so much powerful information in here that helps me throughout any situation or any emotions that I find myself in. Being it what I'm angry, happy, sad, whatever. And today I'm going to show you how you can create your own jar at home. So all you need is a piece of paper and a pen. And then you write down all the emotions that we have, which is like angry, sad, happy, whatever emotion that you feel. So you write, you can make, what's it called? You can Google some like very powerful emotional quotes that would help you throughout something that you can see every day that would help you through any type of emotion. So right now, I'm feeling a little bit anxious. And also, you can color code it. So as you can see over here, I have red, yellow for happy, orange for thankful, and red for anger. And right now, I'm feeling a little bit anxious, so it's a green one. So I just go into the jar and then pick out a quote, and I read the quotes, and it tells me like information that it gives me some type of powerful quotes that helps me get through my anxiety and makes me realize that everything is going to be okay, and then I don't have to overthink stuff or stress about stuff too much. So the way to make this jar is very simple. All you need is colored papers, some really good quotes that you know is going to help you throughout any type of emotions that you're feeling, and you can have it on your study desk. Anytime you feel any type of emotion, all you have to do is reach out for this little jar right here, and then read the code, and it helps. Trust me, I've used this last year and it helped me really, really well, and I'm still using it this year. So I would encourage anyone who has any type of anxiety, any type of like emotional problems to try it out, and it's really beneficial. Thank you.
Okay. Now.
I'm sorry I was shaking. I'm just ready.
Okay. Good. That was cute. That was a cute little object. I really liked it. One thing, and you held it up. We did see it. We could definitely see it. You gave us the steps, how it works, everything, all that was fine until you got to the end, right? And what do you think was wrong with the end?
I almost dropped it. I don't know.
No. Okay, you said, so I would encourage you all to get this. Okay? And once you get it, it's going to do this for da 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 da. Right? Now, this is a classic mistake that a lot of people make when it comes to delivering informative speech. You do a great job with staying on course with the informative rules, but right at the end you start telling people what they should do, right? Clear indicator that you're going down the wrong road if you're trying to make an informative speech. Don't tell people what to do, right? So don't say things like, so remember, you need to da 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 da, you should do this, make sure you. No.
Okay.
An informative conclusion needs to definitely not advise someone what to do. When you start doing that, that's a persuasive closing.
Okay, I get why I made a mistake now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, the rest of it was good.
Thank you.
But that part, gotta be careful.
I'll keep that in mind.
Classic. It's a classic. classic. So just be mindful. All right, good job.
Yeah.
And increase that eye contact a little more. If you notice, as soon as you stopped reading, you started looking at us, right? You started getting more comfortable. You knew what to say. You knew what to say about how to make this. You didn't really need much notes on that part, right?
Yes.
That's what I mean when I say knowledge of your subject matter really helps to keep down those nerves and gets you through your speech effectively, knowing what you're talking about. Okay. All right. Who would like to go next? Thank you, Nathan.
Okay, guys. Professor, can I go?
Yes.
Okay, guys. So my visual aid speech will be,
I'm
I
gonna stop you. I'm gonna stop you. Right?
Mm.
Introduction first.
Yeah.
Okay? So don't say what you're getting ready to talk about first.
Okay.
Right? Give the introduction first. Okay, we're gonna start all over. You got it.
My visual aid speech. So, have you ever fast as a young age? Well, as I did, as a young age, at age 8, I started fasting. Fasting is part of my religion. It's during a month called Ramadan. It's a spiritual month where you are significant. It's a practice we do every year. This this Ramadan is a is a fasting month where you're not allowed to eat or drink the whole day. It's up to sunrise to sunset. Food, and during these fasting hours, we try to not we try to discipline ourselves to not to eat or drink. This help us stay positive habits, challenging ourselves not to to feel how to feel inside how hungers feel. As a young age, it's hard to do fasting, but it was my first time doing fasting. We try to fasting helps. It's a beneficial physical health, and it helps improve your body. Fasting health is a blessing. It is you take granted and on what you have: food, water, and shelter. It's a showing great gratitude and encourage yourself, those you have and those who are in need. It's giving encourage charity and compassion, and trying to help others and try to feel inside what it feel like how others don't have what they have. Okay, guys.
Okay. You done? All right. You got the time good. The ending was a little bit abrupt. I wasn't sure you were at the ending. You never said you were at the ending either, right? And I'm not sure, but the second time you said it again about my object speech, maybe you were just telling me the title. Is that what you were doing?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I got you now. Okay. Informative for sure. Um, I would say look into the camera a little more. Like that. Yep. Like that, right? um, visual. Okay, so you were supposed to have an object, right? You're supposed to show us an object and explain it, the object.
I didn't have one comment, so that's why. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So this is about the visual, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is key. You needed to show us the object and tell us how it works. Now you did tell us how fasting works. You told us why you did it, mostly, more so. Then so just be mindful of that, okay? You did you told us why you do it, why that happens, why that. I would have liked to see more of what, because you can kind of see now, talking a lot about why kind of moves you into the realm of persuasion, right? Remember I was telling you about your other speech that you did, that it was persuasive because you added the words, oh, it's important, it's beneficial, you have to do this. That really is a persuasive speech on question of fact. It looks a whole lot like an informative speech, but it's not. And I told you that the example that I put in your module about water consumption is a persuasive speech on question of fact. It looks a whole lot like an informative speech. But if the intent is to try to get people to do something, which, I mean, the speech kind of does, but as soon as you start saying the importance of this, the benefits of that, you're moving more into a persuasive realm, right? You were telling us about, we do this because of this and because of that, and this is how it works. It was borderline. It was borderline because it didn't really tell us we should do it. But you have to think about the intent. I don't think that you were really telling people that they should do this. They should fast. But it's some type of implied thing when you start going down the realm of that. But I don't know. I think you try to stay pretty informative with it and not go too far to the persuasive. So that was good. And again, look in the camera a little bit more. And the closing was a little abrupt. Make sure, everybody, that you let the audience know you're at the end. Okay, thank you, Malika. Okay, who's next?
I can be next.
Rose, okay. All right.
I start.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, everyone. Today, I want to share with you a product that deeply rooted in my culture and passed down for generations. It's l'huile masquerade. L'huile masquerade, also known as Haitian black castor oil, is a premium product crafted using traditional methods. It's a treasure for deep cultural root. It is made through a time-honored technique involving the roasting, the ground, and boil the castor beans to finally extract the thick golden oil. These methods give the oil a unique smoky scent and a rich consistency. In many Haitian homes, this oil is used to regrow damaged hair. It's also applied to eczema and scars, to help heal and moisturize the skin. Some people even use it for massages to ease joint pain. Let me show it to you. This small bottle holds a golden thick oil that a small amount goes a long way. L'huile masqueti is a wonderful product. It represents tradition, healing, and a connection to my roots. It's a reminder that some of the most effective remedies don't come all the time from a lab, but sometimes from culture and generations of knowledge.
Okay. Okay, you did the time well. At first, I thought you were going to start with telling us what you're talking, but you didn't. You didn't say it. So, okay.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. Again, this is a learning experience. And you did. I felt like you were kind of like going a little over to the persuasive side, really selling it. Like you said, this is a wonderful product. This, right? So you got to keep out all of your opinions
Okay.
in an informative speech. You cannot have opinions. It's just the facts about it.
Okay.
Okay.
Understood.
So you have to be mindful. And these errors are classical. Okay, these are mistakes that people make, classic mistakes in public speaking on informative versus persuasive.
Okay.
Okay. And we do these practices so that when it's time for you to actually give that informative speech, you don't make those mistakes, right?
I won't make the same mistake.
Right. Okay. You had good eye contact too.
Thank you.
I think because you really knew your subject matter. So again, that really helps. Knowing that subject matter, it helps you to get a better connection with your audience. They'll see and feel like, okay, she really knows what she's talking. But when you're reading it, it's almost like, okay, what else? Like, you could just give it to me. I could read it for myself. So be mindful that you need to use those techniques, vocal variety. And you did use some of that. Looking at the audience, and when you have that object, keep it up. You took a long time to actually show it to us. So remember, that's what this is all about, the object, right? Okay, good job.
Thank you.
Mhm. Okay. Oh, shoot, I put you in Alex. Okay, who's next? You have to move it along. Who's next?
I can go.
Okay, so we're ready.
Okay. Many of us have grown up seeing a relative sew. However, even if you haven't, you may be aware of the tiny object that holds the thread. This object is called a bobbin. Many people often do not know bobbins by their name, why they were originally created, and how many uses they have. First, let's start by going over some basic information. Many people often overlook the bobbin because they are not recognizable by name. Bobbins are often seen holding sewing thread. According to Oxford Language Diction, by definition, a bobbin is a cylinder cone holding thread, yarn, or wire. Um, Bobbins also come in many sizes. Next, we can look at some of the bobbins' history. Bobbins have a rich history and originated back from the 18th century and were created in Lancashire, England. Um, Sorry, I'm nervous. um, they were originally created from wood or bone, um, and were made to manage piles of thread or yarn. Lastly, we can look at the uses of the bobbin. Bobbins are used in a lot of industrial machines and industrial textile mills. Are used in textile arts such as sewing, knitting, spinning, and weaving. And they are also used for general organization purposes. Um, I'm sorry.
Keep going.
I'm sorry. Can I take a second,
No,
please?
you're doing good. You're doing great. Just give us that conclusion.
Okay. I'm sorry. I just have a headache. So, um, though they're not always recognizable by name and are often overlooked in history, bobbins are considered can be considered the start of many of our everyday clothes, blankets, and objects. Um, I have found many uses for my bobbins, such as spinning when I spin my own yarn and sewing to hold my threads. Um, so, despite their funny name, bobbins are an essential object. I'm sorry, I have a headache. That's all I have.
Okay. Okay. All right. Zoe. There you go. Okay. You started out great. Okay. You started out great. And you had all the parts until you got to the conclusion. Now, remember, I told everybody don't tell people whatever flaws you have. Don't bring them onto yourself. Don't make excuses. Don't tell them, oh, I got a headache. I'm sick. I don't feel well. I can't do this. Because it starts to turn the audience off from your speech when you do that. You start bringing down your credibility too. Okay. Because people are like, okay, well, yeah, all right, but seems like you don't know what you're talking about. Things like that. You're making an excuse. That makes your credibility go down. And you never want to do that, right? So if you mess up, if you lose your place, you can say, one moment, please, and find your place. But again, losing your place has to do with one, you're speaking outline, how it looks, what you've got there. You may have too much written. You may be trying to read it. It seems like when you were explaining it, you did a really good job because you knew what you were talking about with this, Bob. But then towards the conclusion, I think maybe you didn't prepare that as well. So it showed that part wasn't together. So just practice more. Okay. You got a slow start with the eye contact, but then once you got it going, you maintained it. And that was good. You had a good introduction. You had all the parts. Just the conclusion was a little weak. And I think you did say something about this is essential at the end, moving a little bit more towards persuasion on your opinion. So you want to make sure you leave that type of information out as well. Okay? But good try. Good try. Good try. Who's next?
I will go.
Okay, Matt.
Okay.
Yes.
Good afternoon, class. Today I will be informing you about the smartphone, a compact device that combines mobile communication and advanced computing capabilities in one unit. Smartphones have become an essential part of our daily life for billions of people worldwide. They function as phones, cameras, computers, and more, all in a handheld device. A standard smartphone typically includes a touchscreen display, a rechargeable lithium-ion battery, and a CPU, a processor, RAM storage, cameras, and sensors. Sensors often include gyroscope, accelerators, GPS, and proximity sensors, enabling features like screen rotation and navigation and face detection. Smartphones operate using software platforms like Apple's iOS or Google's Android. These systems support apps, programs that perform tasks such as messaging, web browsing, and video recording. Smartphones connect to the internet through Wi-Fi or mobile data. The first smartphone was the IBM CMN, introduced in 1994. It featured a touchscreen and could send email and faxes. The major breakthrough came in 2007 when Apple launched the iPhone, which helped shape the modern smartphone design. In conclusion, the smartphone is a multifunctional electronic device that combines the feature of a phone, computer, GPS camera, and more. It includes advanced hardware, powerful software, and global connectivity all in one pocket-sized tool. Thank you.
Okay. Now, how effective was that visual, you think? You only put it up for like a split second. Then you took it down, right? The whole purpose is that visual. You explained it to us.
I couldn't focus while holding it. I need my hands to talk. So I was going like.
Okay, but if that's the case, then you should have put it up on a podium or something where we still could see it. It would have been nice if you showed us the features on the phone, or where we could find some of the features on the phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that is part of the assignment. Now, I'm going to tell you that you did not have an introduction. You started right in saying you're going to tell us about this cell phone, right? You have to have an introduction to pull the audience in, gain the attention. Don't start off telling us what you're going to talk about. Okay. And don't get in the habit to just say thank you at the end of this. Yeah. You did say, let us know that you were at the end, though. That was good. Increase that eye contact. You were reading a lot and you didn't practice very much on it, right?
Because no, I forgot a lot.
Yeah. So be mindful. Those speaking outlines are very, very important. Even though this is supposed to be an impromptu, I gave it to you ahead of time so that you could try to at least work on it some. but you have to try to look at your audience, read less, and the key to all of this is just practice. Practice, 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 so you know it so well that you won't. You were stumbling over your words. You didn't really know which word, right? So be mindful of those types of things. But the key thing that I really did notice a lot was that that's the same thing I told 3T. You can't just take your object, put it down in this assignment, right? Because the assignment is to explain how something works. I think the organization was a little bit off too, because almost like in the middle or towards the end, you started telling us about the origins of it. So it's the organization would be logical to tell us that stuff in the beginning of the speech. Okay. All right. Thank you, Matt.
I think in the future, my note cards, I'm gonna write like simpler words.
Right.
Yes.
Right. That
Yeah.
jog your memory.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of trying to read what you wrote. You start out doing that in your practice, but over time, you need to make certain that, you know what's coming next. You know what you're going to talk about. You have those 3 main points. This is what I was telling you guys last week, or however many main points. Get that down. Know that. Know that. And then what I want to say about these things, and pick out the key things that you want to talk about. And that way you won't be compelled to look at the notes, because you'll know, okay, in main point number 1, I'm going to talk about 1, 2, 3, the main thing about it, right? So be mindful of that. And like I said, don't get in the habit to say thank you to close your speech.
What should I say?
You should end it with some type of quote, something that's lasting and memorable. Lasting and memorable does not equal thank you, right?
I am lasting and memorable.
Okay, that may be true, but your task is to be lasting and memorable about what you're talking about, right? Not so much you. Yeah, nice eye to look at the eye. Yes, I'm sure you got a great personality, Matt. We see it every week. However, you have to make certain that what you're talking about, somebody walking away from that speech will be like, wow, yeah, okay, yeah, powerful. I had a student once give a speech about, it was, we were doing pet peeves, and the person's pet peeve was people who don't wash their hands after using the bathroom, right? And at the end of her speech, she said one word that kind of like really got it at the end. People were like, oh, yeah. She said, she was talking about, she gave that last statement about how much it annoys her, how terrible it is, and how perhaps it could not be good for your health. But at the end, the last word she said was ilk, ilk. And it was very demonstrative. And when she said it with the vocal variety, and all these years later, because that probably was about 25 years ago or so, all these years later, I still remember that speech. And I still remember that closing of ilk. Okay. So just remember that. It needs to be lasting and memorable. That thank you or that's it, I'm done is not lasting and memorable about your topic, right? Okay. Who's next?
I can go.
Okay.
Okay.
1 second.
This is kind of convenient since Matt
Wait
just
1
did.
second.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, Alex. We're ready. Oh, how? I'm
Okay.
sorry. I was going.
What happened?
I was calling you Alex. I didn't look up. I was listening to the voice. I thought that was Alex speaking, but that's Hal. Okay. I'm sorry. All right, Hal, we're ready.
Okay, I was going to say this is kind of convenient since Matt just did phones, but have you ever taken a picture on your phone and thought that it was just so good that you wanted a physical copy, but you were just too lazy to actually go to a store and get it developed and wait for it to print out? Well, that's why Polaroid cameras were invented. While these are old, this is a new one, but they've been around since like the 1940s. And how they actually came about is people back in the day didn't really want they want convenience. They didn't really want to wait, take a picture on that long roll, go to a store, wait a couple weeks or days, and then go back and pick it up. And so in 1947, a guy named Edwin Land took a picture, and his daughter asked, "Dad, why can't I see the picture right now?" And conveniently, he was an inventor. So he came up with a Polaroid camera. How it actually works is there's a stack of photos in here that are refillable. You pull it out and replace it really quickly. And instead of using ink, it uses a paste and chemical reactions to quickly develop your pictures in about 15 or so minutes. So I have this picture of my dog that sits on my desk every day, and it's my favorite Polaroid picture. And he passed away a couple of years ago, so I keep it on my desk to remind me of him like every single day, because I'm not always on my phone scrolling through my camera roll. So in the 90s and 80s, the Polaroid pictures became really popular because they were convenient and people just had them everywhere they went. They're really portable. But since smartphones came out, they started to die off because you have to pay money each time you take a picture. However, it's kind of a full circle moment because today they're starting to make a comeback because now people want physical pictures again. Because holding a memory in your hand is much different than just taking it and forgetting about it.
Okay. All right. I thought you did a great job. Start to finish. Great eye contact, your voice, vocal variety. You knew what you were talking about. You held it up. You showed us what it was. You did a good job. You had a good introduction. The closing, I think, could be a little bit develop a little bit more to be more lasting and memorable. And let us know that you're at the end. But I thought you did a great delivery with that. You met the time. Good job, Al. Okay. One thing though, for Polaroids, they fade over time.
Yeah, but you gotta keep them like in a cool place. You can't just have like indirect sunlight or it'll fade.
Yeah. I took Polaroids on my high school graduation. And my husband and I were looking at them the other day. They were pretty faded. Now, like, because I'm 63 years old now, right? I was 18 when I graduated from high school.
Yeah.
And you have to be mindful that they may fade. Probably the newer ones are a lot better.
Yeah, this one still like holds its like color.
Yeah. Okay, good job, pal. Who's next? You have
I'll
any?
go ahead and go next.
Okay, right. Ready?
So for my speech, we're using sunscreen. So when you think of sunscreen, what comes to mind? For most people, it's beach days, summer vacations, or maybe just a bottle you left in your car. But sunscreen is a lot more than that. It's not just about avoiding a sunburn, it's about protecting your skin, your health, and your future. The sun can give us warmth, light, vitamin D, but too much exposure without the correct protection can be dangerous. Every time you step outside unprotected, you're exposing your skin to damage, and that damage adds up over time. You might not even see it right away. That's why sunscreen should be part of your daily routine and not just something you slap on before you head to the beach. Let's break it down. How does sunscreen work? The sun gives off two kinds of rays, UVA and UVB, and both are harmful to you. UVA is the one that ages your skin. That's where you get your wrinkles, your fine lines, and your long-term skin damage. UVB burns the surface of your skin. It's a radioactive effect that happens when it reaches your skin. Both types increase your chance for skin cancer, and that includes melanoma. So what sunscreen does, it acts as a shield for those rays. Depending on what kind of sunscreen you have, you can either absorb the rays or block them altogether. A broad spectrum sunscreen like the one I have here protects against both UVA and UVB. This one specifically is SPF 50. That sun protection factor 50 means that only 1/50th of the sun's rays actually gets to your skin. So that other 98% completely avoided. And even though in times like this where it's super hot outside, people think you only need to wear it then. But you need to wear this every single day, even if it's cloudy, rainy, the sun is still getting to your skin. Another big myth is that people with darker skin don't need sunscreen. That's completely false. Melanin does offer some natural protection for sunscreen, but it's not enough to omit it altogether. You need to wear it consistently to prevent long-term skin damage, sunburn, and reduce the signs of aging. It's a small habit, but it has a really big impact if used every day. So the bottom line with the sunscreen, it's not just a summer thing. You need it every single day, all year round. This bottle will literally save your life. And it's one of the easiest ways to do it. It takes 30 seconds to put it on. You reapply every 2 hours, no big deal. But those 30 seconds every day compounds, and it could lead to a completely different life path for you. So remember that your skin and your future self will thank you if you use it every day.
Now, I'll start with the closing, which was very good for a persuasive speech. It was very good what you said at the end, but it's persuasive. And throughout the speech, you were being persuasive. Now, when you got to the part where you were telling us about what does 50 mean on for sunscreen, what does it protect, that was great. That was totally informative. But when you started telling us about we should do this, we need this, if you don't do this, you're going to get cancer, if this is going to happen, this is going to.
Okay.
Now you're getting into the why you need sunscreen, right? Remember, if you go no more to the why, sometimes you're getting into that persuasive realm. And this needs to be an informative speech. The introduction, you started right off telling us that it's sunscreen. You didn't really have a good intro to it. You said, I'm going to talk about this sunscreen right here. That's how you first started off. So remember, gain that audience's attention first before you reveal your topic.
Okay.
You didn't look at us as much as I thought you could have, but I didn't feel like you were reading. I felt like you knew the material, you knew the subject matter very well, but maybe you didn't know where your camera was. You know what I mean? So Be mindful of where your camera is and look up at us. There you go, like that. Right. So I would say be mindful of that. The visual, you did that very well. You had it up the whole time. We know what you talked about with that visual, with your object, and you explained it well. That's basically it. You had good, very good points about it. Just don't veer off into the persuasive.
Okay.
And when you start, listen, the word should, remember, you got to do this. That's all indications of persuasion, right? Okay. All right, good job. Good job. Who's next? Is that it? Okay. Thank you. Okay. All right, let's get back into the gallery. And so now I'm going to give you a little brief lecture about informative speaking. Brief PowerPoint. Now you all are aware that I did change the date for your informative speech preparation outline, right? Okay. July the 8th is when it's due. July the 8th is when your preparation outline is due. Now, when we're talking about speaking informatively, basically it's an informative speech is designed to convey knowledge and understanding based exclusively on facts. Exclusively. No opinion is permitted. Okay? You don't want to persuade, you don't want to inspire, you just want to inform with the facts. So what does an informative speech include? Facts, evidence, statistics, narratives, examples, testimonies, no opinions, and no calls to action. Okay? All of this should do this. That's a call to action. Okay? That's trying to get people to act or change or in some way do something other than understand and gain knowledge, because that is the purpose of your persuasive speech, for people to understand and gain knowledge. Okay? You don't want to persuade them, you don't want to inspire them. Those are two other different types of speeches. Now, informative speeches have types. You have a speech about objects, events, processes, and concepts. Now, a speech about an object is anything that's visible, tangible, and stable in form. A specific purpose for a speech like that might be to inform my audience about the history, design, and significance of One Liberty Place in Philadelphia. A central idea for a specific purpose on an object speech would be One Liberty Place is a prominent skyscraper in Philadelphia, boasting a rich history, unique architectural style, and as the tallest building in the city for many years. Yes, it should be is. Speeches about process are basically a systematic series of actions leading to a specific result. Today, a lot of people were talking about processes, right? Specific purpose for a speech about a process might be to inform my audience about the steps in the process of developing photographic film, highlighting the 3 key stages of developer, stop bath, and fixer. An essential idea for a specific purpose like that might be the process of developing photographic film transforms a light exposed negative into a usable image through a multi-step chemical bath, beginning with the developer, then the stop, bath, and finally the fixer. Speeches about events are anything that has happened or is regarded as happening. Specific purpose might be to inform my audience about the exciting prestige surrounding the Daytona 500, emphasizing its role as both a season opening race and a cultural phenomenon. Central idea might be the Daytona 500 is a NASCAR Cup Series race that ignites the stock car racing season, drawing in enthusiastic crowds and TV viewers with its high-speed competition and its special place in American motorsports culture with its rich history and tradition. And finally, speeches about concepts are basically a belief, theory, idea, notion, or principle. A specific purpose for a speech about concepts might be to inform my audience about the concept of the algorithmic society, exploring its impact on our daily lives and decision-making processes. A central idea for a specific purpose like that about concept speeches might be while the reliance of algorithms brings benefits such as personalization and efficiency, they also have drawbacks such as potential bias and lack of transparency. Now, there are some guidelines that you need to know about informative speaking. The first one is don't overestimate what the audience knows. Okay? Be careful to explain whatever it is you want us to have better understanding and knowledge about, step by step by step, without any shortcuts. Okay? Explain everything very thoroughly so that the audience can't help but understand what you're talking about. Number 2, you want to relate the subject to the audience because, as I told you in the beginning, nothing interests people more than themselves. Right? As in the introduction, you can include your audience throughout the body of the speech. And some of the advantages of doing it this way is that it establishes you as a qualified speaker who can be trusted. Right? And listeners will care more about your topic if they believe that it matters to you. All right. Number 3 is don't be too technical. Or in other words, make it simple. Make it easy to listen to. Okay? Make it easy to listen to. Be short, simple, organized, and repetitive. Okay. You want to avoid abstractions. Instead, use descriptions, which are statements that depict the person, event, idea, or the like, with clarity and vividness. Okay, it communicates internal feelings. Instead of abstractions, you want to use comparisons, statements of the similarities among two or more people, events, ideas, etc. This puts your ideas in concrete and familiar terms. And then finally, instead of abstractions, you want to use contrasts, right? Statements of differences among two or more people, events, ideas, etc. Again, this puts your ideas into concrete terms. And finally, well, not finally, you want to personalize your ideas, okay? Present your ideas in human terms that relate in some fashion to the experience of the audience. And then finally, be creative in your informative speaking. Try to make certain that you're going to add something new that maybe we did not know about your speech. Okay. Any questions about informative speaking? Okay. No questions? I did want to quickly bring up for you this Guy Fawkes speech. Now, some of you handed in a can you see this now? It's the module for your, okay. Some of you handed in something that I provided with the working outline. It was a preparation outline. And basically what I was doing was showing you how to move from your working outline into your preparation outline. And some of you took that and you delivered, that's what you submitted, a preparation outline in your working outline submission. Don't do that, okay? You need to make certain that the working outline is the working outline. Some of you may have gotten confused because it was in there, but it clearly said that it's a transition. This is how you go from working to preparation. In week 6, this is what I was telling you about. This informative speech working outline to transform into preparation outline. Again, this speech is leaning towards persuasion. Some of you handed this in. Your work. Okay, this is the working outline. And then it had this part on it. Okay, this is the preparation outline, right? Where you have all of these different sections in your introduction. Okay, full sentences here. And you want to go through and you want to we'll do that next. But you want to go through this to see how you take these broad ideas here and put them into more concrete terms and information. Now, if you have not done it already, you need to review the library tour part 1, library tour part 2. Okay, it helps you to learn if you don't already know. And it's a good thing for you to take this if you have not taken it for your English class. It helps you to find the databases in the school because remember, I told you, you cannot use Wikipedia in this class. You have to use the school's databases because that information is peer reviewed. Okay. So if you haven't done it already, this was in week 5, we talked about the library tour. Look at it. It's also one in week 5 too. If you don't want to go through part 1 and part 2, it's just one in part 1 that was with a previous class, and that will help you as well. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
My camera is off because I'm moving around. I'm trying to, but I submitted that outline and it was not a working outline. It's a preparation outline. So, and then the next assignment is what?
The preparation outline. So make sure you go back and look at the comments that I made because I did make some comments. If you handed in the whole thing, I did make some comments about it. So just make sure you go back and, incorporate the changes that I.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you have to have that audience, 3 people. Yeah, three to 6 people. Okay, you have to have an audience. I had a student last semester. She gave an excellent speech about how to make these 5 basic sauces. It was excellent. It's classic, informative, but she had no audience. So I had to take off for that. You have to have an audience. I told you that day 1 so that you could get prepared for that audience.
What do you mean audience?
Okay, I'm going to show it up. An audience means somebody who's listening to you.
So
it's not a regular post, and I'm going to show you what it looks like in the Guy Fawkes examples. Okay, what you have to do before you start your speech. This is a little bit different format from the first 2 speeches. The first 2 speeches, you were just talking to the camera. Now you're going to talk to a live audience. Okay. Make sure you look at this assignment parameter so that you have everything that's required. Obviously, this speech is in front of your audience, so you're not going to try to put forth a PowerPoint. This class is not about PowerPoints. Okay? We want to see you actually delivering the speech. If you have PowerPoint up there, you're over here on the side of the little teeny block, and we really can't effectively see you and evaluate you. You all are going to start now with the evaluations on your classmates. Again, that speaking outline is very important. I can't tell you what to put in it. You have to put in what you feel is going to jog your memory. Now, here is a copy Oh. Why did you do that, Mitch? Okay, I'm going to have to tell the author of the class to unlock this. Anytime that says access denied, he locked it. And I need to tell him to unlock it. I don't know why he locked it. Okay, now I did give an example of the student speech, right? And then my revision of the student speech. So go in there and look at the two revisions. I mean, the one revision, the two speeches. Okay. Another thing, I don't want to see the word works cited. Okay. I told you I want a bibliography. The difference between the bibliography and the works cited, the bibliography is going to list all of the resources, regardless of whether you cited them or not during the speech. Okay, that's all the resources that you need, you used. So it could be more than 3. But you better talk about 3 of them in your speech. Okay, you have to talk about 3, at a minimum of 3 sources. And we talked all about that last week, how that's done. And a couple minutes. I'm going to get that video up for you of the Guy Fawkes speech. And I'll let you know when it's up. What is there? I don't know. There's also another sample of a former student, what they did, and my revision of their speech, where I thought it was a very good speech. She gave a speech about what to do when you want to get a tattoo, how to prepare for it. Yeah, I can't see it right now. But for instance, what you have to do in this informative video is you take your camera, whatever it is the device that you're using, okay? And you turn it on the audience and you show us the audience. You have to pan the audience, show the audience. Then you take the camera, give it to someone in the audience to film you speaking to us, speaking to the audience. Okay? You got that, Matt? I think that was you, Matt, that asked me that question, right?
Yeah, I get it.
Okay. Unfortunately, the video has been locked by the owner of the class, so I have to get him to unlock it. But that's what you do first. Pan the audience. Let us see all the people who are in that you have an audience. I need to see that. As soon as you do, then give the camera to someone in the audience or either put it on some type of stand to hold it and film yourself speaking to that audience. Dress the part, dress nicely. Don't try to deliver this speech laying in your bed and doing, act like you're actually giving a speech, okay? Okay? All right, one last thing. Your persuasive groups. I looked in there, I saw nobody put a group, so I put you in a group, okay? And that is in week 8. Persuasive speech team page. Okay, it's in week 8. Everybody see it? Should be colorful, yellow, blue. Can you see that? It has your name on it. No, you can't see it?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. So here's everybody's name, what group you're in, and then you need to go in here by July the 2nd and write down what is your topic. Okay. Now, up at the top of your Blackboard, there's something called messages. When you click that, okay, all these messages will come up. And when you want to send a message, there's a plus on this side over here, new message. Okay, new message. Click that and start writing the message to the other people in your group. Okay, so this is due in a second, so you need to do this tomorrow or tonight, right? Okay. Now, say some of the people are not responding. They're not pulling their weight for some reason. You continue going on, okay? If people don't respond, they don't do it because, again, you're going to have an opportunity to let me know. You're going to grade all the rest of the people in your group to say what they did or didn't do, okay? So I don't think we're going to have that problem in this class. Most people are handing in their speeches. So that group speech should be good. But again, if somebody let me know, okay? I'll try to reach out to the student myself. But if the student does not, we can't force people to do things, right? This is America. However, move on from that. Don't let that hinder you or stop you. Go on and do the research. Now, there's 4 people in your group for persuasive speeches, right? So that means 3 people are going to take a main point, right? If you have 3 main points, 3 people will take a main point. That 4th person will do the introduction and the conclusion. And that should be pretty even. But you decide amongst yourselves how you're going to develop it and deliver it. Okay? Any questions at all? No? All right. Have a wonderful week. I'm not going to be available, but you can this week, but you can send me an email and I'm going to try to respond to it, but I am going to be out of town this week if you have a question.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful 4th, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a great
Professor, I have one quick question for you.
Sure.
Before you leave, for next week. So we're I just want to get this clear. We're supposed to submit our enforcement speech, right? And
Your what? Say again.
The speech outline enforcement.
Oh, informative preparation outline on July the 8th.
Yeah, and
the video is not due to I think the 13th. Yeah.
And then I have one question. The visual aid, is that the one we did today, right?
That's the speech we did today, but you need visual aids in your informative speech as well. That's why we went over the visual aids so that
Oh,
when it's time for you to do that speech that's worth a lot, you
mm-hmm.
have done that before.
Is that like the same topic? We will do the for informative speech, right?
Informative speech, yes.
Okay, okay.
So on any topic you want it to be, just make sure you don't go off into a persuasive round.
Okay, and then one more thing for next class, or do we have any speech to do in class, or no?
Yeah.
Is it
Next week's class is going to be
the motive sequence self performance?
no, that's the week after next. Next week is going to be your science night, and you're going to get in teams.
Mm-hmm.
You have to read these articles.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to send out an email to remind everybody. I should have talked about it today.
Okay, so
But it will be, we're still recording, so
the cyanides, like we have to write, it's like as a group of team we have to come up with
as a team, I'm going to put you in your group, in your breakout rooms, and you're going to develop the speech.
Oh,
It'd be
okay,
a good
okay.
idea if you could read some of those articles ahead of time, but you don't have to.
Okay.
Next week, that's what we're doing. We're going to get in the breakout rooms and we're going to write a speech together as a group.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Professor. Have a good one.
You're very welcome.
Bye.
I have a question.
Sure.
I was looking at the Teams page, and I'm in two groups.
You are? Let me see. Anybody else had a question for me?
Yeah, I never did my impromptu speech. Sorry, I got like confused because I saw a couple other people didn't do it, but I still didn't do mine yet
Your impromptu speech on what?
for the visual aid. I brought my spatula.
Oh, yeah. Well, that I was asking everybody, did you have it? Did anybody else? Anybody
Yeah,
else?
I was confused because I saw a couple other people, so I was like, oh, maybe we're doing the rest at the end. And then it kept going, and I was like, uh-oh.
Okay, I'll let you give it. And maybe Zoe and Raymond will stay and listen to it. Raymond's like, no, I don't think so. I
I'll
saw
see you guys
that
next
look
week.
on your face. Let me tell
Oh,
you,
God.
an expression is worth 1,000 words. It's only going to be 2 or 3 minutes, Raymond.
Okay, you guys don't need to hear about my spatula story. You guys can go.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So there are many different tools we use in the kitchen, and the spatula is one of the most important. But have you ever wondered why the spatula was created in the first place? Today, I'll be teaching you about the history of the spatula, how it's used today, and the different types that exist. The history of the spatula goes all the way back to ancient Greek and Latin times. Interestingly, it wasn't originally designed for cooking. It was actually started as a sword, and the Greeks called it a spathe, and the Romans called it a spatha, both meaning a broad-bladed longsword. And then over time, its use shifted. It became a smaller tool and used for medical purposes. And um, they and that's when the suffix "ula" was added to it, which turned the meaning from sword to little sword. And then as we moved into the Iron Age, the tool continued to evolve and eventually became used for tasks in the kitchen. And today, the spatula is an essential tool in kitchens all around the world. It flips pancakes, it stirs sauces, and it scrapes batter and spreads icing. From baking and stovetop cooking to grilling, spatulas are make food prep faster, cleaner, and more efficient. And whether you're a professional chef or just cooking at home, it's a go-to tool for nearly everyone. And there are also multiple types of spatulas. There's grill and metal ones for durable and great for flipping. Rubber spatulas are perfect for scraping ingredients out of the bowls. Then there's silicone spatulas, which are flexible and great for high heat cooking and nonstick surfaces. From the beginning as a sword in ancient Greek and Roman times to its role as a kitchen essential today, the spatula has truly come a long way. Its evolution shows how simple tools can adapt and impact our daily lives in such unexpected ways. So, next time you're cooking or baking, think about how this everyday kitchen tool started as a sword, something once made for battle, and is now one of the most useful tools in our kitchens today.
Okay. All right. Zoe, tell me what's wrong with her conclusion.
It sounded a little bit more persuasive at the end.
Yes. Remember, Angeli, we said if you start telling people, remember, do this,
Right.
right? So be mindful of that in your conclusion. Also, you didn't show us that spatula too much. So remember, it's about the object. So you want to make certain that you do show us that. You didn't really give us a whole lot of eye contact. You had your speaking out loud pretty well there, but we can see your eyes going over top of the camera. So
Wait, where's
be
the camera?
mindful to look at us. Look at me. Yeah, we can tell. We can tell when you're actually looking in the camera like this, or when
Wait,
you're
can you
looking
look at
around
me?
like
Wait, do you see me?
this. Second?
Can you see me? Is
Yeah.
this the camera? Am I looking in the wrong
Right now. Look straight into your camera. It should be like a little dot on there if you have it incorporated,
Oh,
or it'll be like I have a video cam. So, but on your computer, if it's embedded in your computer, it'll be like a little round dot right at the top. You see it now?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Um, you had an introduction and it was good, but you started and then you told us what it was and then you went back to your question. So make sure you do all of that attention getting before you reveal the topic. Okay. Um, you had good information telling us about what it was in the body. Conclusion, because it worked a little bit more development on that one. And make sure you don't go persuasive. The visual, you could have been a little bit more effective with that visual. And we talked about the eye contact. You did it within the right amount of time. Okay. Zoe and Raymond, I'm going to give you some extra credit for staying.
No problem.
Thank you.
Angeli and I really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
All right. And Zoe, you can stay if you want. Raymond, did you want to ask me something?
No, I'm fine.
All right, good. Thank you guys for staying.
All right, have a good week, y'all.
Have a good week. Okay, Zoe. Let me turn off the recording.